Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi everyone, Hussein Qazi here. Welcome to Strategic Business Reporting Bootcamp. The purpose of this bootcamp is to provide you SBR exam support. And these material, including videos and the documents and all my advices relevant for September 23 and December 23 exams, relevant for both sessions. So before going in detail about this particular session, first of all, my strong message to all of you, and that's the soft message, it's not the technical message, the soft message. For the success of any project in the life, the four ingredients required, and that is self-confidence, which means, yes, I can do this. Number two, continuous motivation, courage. Number three, power of positivity, it's very strong. Avoid negativity. Number four, you must be very much well disciplined. These four components required for the success of any project of the life. Students, this boot camp, this boot camp where Hussein Qazi material, videos that will definitely support you about the right direction for SBR exam practice and revision towards the success of the exam. And I will definitely support you to build the confidence, and continuously I will motivate you. And you people must be positive, avoid negativity, positive about your exam success, and very much discipline to obey all the advices I will provide here. So let's start the details of the session. But before starting this, a brief profile of Hussein Qazi. I am Hussein Qazi. Alhamdulillah. 18 years experience for ACCA qualification facilitation. My specialty is strategic business reporting, advanced financial management, and the financial management. Senior faculty member at the Barney's School of Accountancy for face-to-face classes and for online sessions. I'm academic business partner at husseinqazi.com. Alhamdulillah, number of students, it's countless. It's what I personally think more than 70, 80. It's countless. Students got prize winners through my facilitation. ACCA appointed me multiple times, and I've conducted multiple exam focus sessions in Pakistan and outside the Pakistan as well. You can contact me through the WhatsApp plus 92321 827 1784. Candidates, I strongly suggest to you, you have to join our WhatsApp open public group that's called SBR Talk Exam Support by Hussein Qazi. The link of the WhatsApp group is available here. And if you are watching through the YouTube this video, below the video, the attachment includes the WhatsApp group link. So you can join that particular link. It's free for all. Let's start the SBR Bootcamp session. Number one, the agenda of this particular session, agenda of this particular orientation session of the SBR, and it's very much important. the agenda of that particular SBR bootcamp session based on 8 components. Number one, we will discuss what the specific agenda of the bootcamp. Number two, what should be the right approach of the revision of your SBR exam. Balance approach. The name is balance approach. Revision with balance approach. Number three, we will cover the reading of examiner mindset. Number four, what inside the syllabus. Number five, what's the exam structure of SBR. Number six, what's new exam structure. Number seven, what's the real challenges for the success of AFM or SBR exam the student faces and how to overcome these challenges. And last one, how SBR bootcamp will execute. This particular session based on 2 videos. The first video will cover the first 4 agenda and the second video will cover the last 4 agenda. So let's start. What's the particular objective of this SBR bootcamp? If you follow the bootcamp videos material, so you must have to aware what's the objective of this particular bootcamp. Do remember this bootcamp, it's not the regular extensive course. It's not about the extensive practice course. It's only the course about to develop the right direction, support you to develop the right direction towards the success of the exam. And the components includes with this bootcamp. Number one, SBR limited practice material covering all exam structure of SBR. Number two, I will definitely guide you what the smart technique to pass the SBR exam. Both things are important. Hard working, simultaneously the smart working. Number three, I will share some suggested solution to you. That solution which is actually the student caliber. Sir, these are the material you will provide to us. But what's the particular objective? Yes. The objective. This is what the objective. The objective. Students, for any professional exam paper of ACCA, the very important thing is that if you are preparing, revising, practicing your questions, you must ask yourself, whatever I am doing, is this according to the examiner expectation? Because majority of the students doing practice, attempting question, doing revision, but not actually according to the examiner expectation. So prime objective of this particular boot camp is that this boot camp is actually provide a bridge to you people to cover the gap between your revision, your preparation and examiner expectation. So my role with this boot camp is to provide you advices, directions to maintain this expectations, examiner expectations. So you have to cover the things according to, you have to practice the things according to the examiner expectation. So what is my role? What is the role of the boot camp? It's very clear with this. So first thing. So this is what the first component, that's objective. Number two, the very important point. What's the SBR syllabus content? Everybody knows that there are 5 components of the syllabus. Everybody knows that. Number one, IFRS. Number two, conceptual framework. Number three, ethical implications. Number four, performance measurement. And number five, current developments. Everybody knows that. But ask yourself, are you doing your revision? Are you preparing your SBR with a balanced approach according to the exam weightage based on the analysis of the past exam? This analysis is made by me since September 18 till March June 2023 March June 2023 exam paper. Examiner examined approximately the syllabus content with this percentages. Number one, IFRS, all the accounting standard and IFRS examiner examined with the weightage of 55% to 60%. Conceptual framework, it's about 8 to 10%. Ethical implications, it's about 7 to 9%. Performance measurement, it's 8 to 12%. And current development, it's 10 to 12%. I have a question to you. If you're watching the video, ask yourself, are you practicing, revising, or preparing your SBR according to this exam weightage? If answer is yes, that's good. But if your answer is not right, so first thing or the first gap you need to bridge, that you have to structure your revision with this exam weightage. Majority of the students invest 80 to 90% time to IFRS, and for rest of the four component just cover the things with very much hurry, not according to examiner expectation, not that quality, and then go to the examination hall and facing issues. Mark my word, your whenever you face the exam, whenever you have faced the exam and attempt your exam is actually what you are doing revision and practicing right now. So if you are practicing or revising your syllabus content according to this exam weightage or according to the exam expectation, you will perform your exam at the exam day according to the exam expectation. That's the first thing. So one last point. For exam, for example, you have decided to invest 100 hours for the preparation or revision or practicing the SBR. So you have to apportion the 100 hours with this exam weightage. So that's the first guideline I've provided to you. Number two, maybe possible you already know the examiner mindset, but you need to review continuously what's actually the examiner mindset or what's examiner expecting from your side when you are attempting the question. When you are attempting the question, let's take an example. For example, you are an accountant of British Airways, and the right side corner, that's a financial statement. Your examiner expectation is that you are not just able you're not just able to do the workings of the questions. Instead, examiner expecting any of the transaction made by, for example, British Airways, for example, renovation of the aircraft. So examiner is expecting that you have an ability to present your answer in front of the user of the financial statement or the relevant management of um, the company. What you normally have done with the F7, you were very good with respect to just working, that's calculation. Here examiner expecting it's not only about the calculation. Examiner expecting you have to develop your ability to explain the principle behind the calculation and the explanation of the calculation as well. Both things. So in simple word, making of the financial statement, yes, it's one of the role of accountant. But another ability the accountant must have to establish that, like doing in the working environment, that what the principle of the accounting related to transaction reporting according to IFRS and the working, you have a good ability to explain both things. This is not my expectation. These are examiner expectation. So you have to develop your revision, preparation, all the strategy of SBR with these examiner statements. Statement of examiner. Number one, this is examiner statement. You have to develop ability to explain your workings. That is essential skill required in workplace, and it is for that reason that examining team has taken this approach. So ask yourself that for accounting standard matters, are you just doing the calculations or also working and practicing for explaining your workings and the principles? If you are doing same, that's good. If not doing the same, you have to overcome this gap, bridging this gap. Once again, the objective is to bridge the gap. Next point. Very categorically, examiner mentioned your F7 paper name was FR Financial Reporting. That was accounting standard. This paper name is not Advanced Financial Reporting. Means this paper is not only about advanced accounting standard, but more than accounting standard. Means student normally assumes that examiner majority 90-95% will examine the IFRS. No, 5 components. The paper name is not Advanced Financial Reporting. The paper name is Strategic Business Reporting, which means yes, Advanced Accounting Standard plus 4 components, plus 4 more components. 4 more components. That's the point. So the paper, it's not about strategic business, it's not about accounting standard, 4 more components. So once again, if you are covering all 5 components, that's good. If you are not covering with all 5 components, so from today, from now, you have to start the preparation with this weightage. Number 3, examiner also saying that, also particular mention that with this exam paper, majority area is about our role as accountant. So we have to perform the exam as an accountant. But some of the examination marks or some of the requirement of the questions, especially with the section B, some part is with respect to investor perspective. Investor perspective. So that is called performance measurement. If you are covering the performance measurement matter with investor perspective, the other part of the table, because normally, for example, any of the transaction if I give to you, like the British Airways renovation of the transaction, majority time we think in the manner like an accountant, how to report the transaction. But the point is that something other side of the table. Think about the other side of the table. That is called, for example, how this reporting will think or will considerable with respect to investor. So that is the point. So I'm not discussing the technicalities of the topic. So if you have covered the investor perspective, that's good. If not, you have to incorporate the things accordingly. So, till now, what we have covered with the agenda, objective of the boot camp, it's to provide the guidance and support to bridge the gap between the examiner expectation and your preparation. Number two, what inside? Sorry. Number two, syllabus content. Number three, examiner mindset. Okay. Now next, the details of the syllabus. Something you can consider the next discussion as a checklist of the syllabus, and you can compare what you have done and what are inside the syllabus. Okay, this is what about 5 parts of the syllabus. So phase one is IFRS, and let's assume that you have total 100 hours for practice or revision or coverage of syllabus, whatever, 100 hours. And let's assume that out of 100 hours, 60 hours you will invest for phase one. Phase one means that's IFRS. And remaining 40 hours for phase 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say IFRS, where you will invest 60 hours. So accounting standard, out of 60 hours, you can split the total accounting standard in the 4 parts. You can split the preparation revision of the accounting standard in 4 parts. The first part, phase 1, first part, group accounts. And these are the group accounts, 6 accounting standards, 6 topics. Basics of group accounts, change in group structure including disposal, step acquisition, joint arrangement, IS 21 foreign subsidiary consolidation, which includes foreign subsidiary consolidation, consolidated cash flow, and IFRS 12. So that's the point. Number 1, out of 60 hours for phase 1, I strongly suggest invest your 30% on group accounts. Invest on 30% on group accounts for the revision matter, especially. For example, out of 60%, if you are 60 hours, you have to spend 18 to 20 hours for group accounts. For revision, for question matters, all the things. The new structure of group accounts, we will discuss second phase of the video. Okay. Number 2, other than group accounts, you can split the accounting standard further 3 parts. So in totality, the 4 parts, group account number 1. Number 2, other than group account, the accounting standard name, extensive IFRS or IS. Extensive. Financial instrument, very extensive. Revenue, very extensive and very regular examine. Employee benefits, taxation, leasing, share-based payment. I suggest you have to review with the same sequence, because the sequence I have attached here, I have mentioned here according to the weightage of the exam. One or two examiner very regular examine very much, almost all of the exam. That's financial instrument and revenue. Then employee benefits, not regularly exam but very frequently. After that, taxation, then leasing, then share base. For this extensive standard, accounting standard, you need to invest 40% of phase one. Means out of 60 hours, you need to invest 24 to 25 hours. That's a point. Then less extensive standard. IS 24, 34, IFRS 8, IFRS 13, IFRS 1, IFRS for SME. It's a very, very less time consuming. And I suggest that 6 to 8 hours you can easily review these standards. And last, prior knowledge accounting standard. That's FR accounting standards or F3 accounting standard. Some standards you have been starting since F3. These are the 10 standards, and don't ignore these standards. I strongly suggest you need to practice this standard. Quickly review and practice these standards question according to SBR caliber, because examiner very regular examine these questions with SBR standard. And I strongly suggest 20% of the time you need to invest for of phase one. Means out of 60%, out of 60 hours, multiply by 20%, 18 hours. So this is for first area of the syllabus. That is 60% weightage of the exam, and that's accounting standard. These are the wordings of examiner. Explanation of the accounting principle behind the calculation, plus explanation of the workings. Furthermore, with the new dynamic business environment, you have to demonstrate your ability about the accounting issues. All these matters are important for related to accounting standard. So about IFRS, these are actually examiner expectations. Number two, conceptual framework. Conceptual framework. Examiner wording. You cannot avoid. To pass this exam, candidates require in-depth knowledge of conceptual framework. In-depth knowledge of conceptual framework. The relevant conceptual framework is about 2018. That includes all the chapters or contents, including that's about qualitative characteristics of financial statement. Very categorically, review your notes or the material of the book, or you can review cover the knowledge from ACCA Education Hub material. It's a good thing. First of all, cover the knowledge. But examiner not expecting only to cover the knowledge, but also application of conceptual framework, application with the case. Strongly suggest out of total course, you need to invest 10%. If you are planning for 100 hours to invest for SBR, you have to invest at least for 10%. That's at least 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours you have to invest for not only knowledge but equal important application. If you just write your knowledge, if you just attempt the question by answering the knowledge, you will not be able to pass the exam. With this phase for conceptual framework, the application practice is very much important. Number three, SBR ethics Categorically, examiner examine with the section A question 2, 20 marks, and out of 20 marks, 7 to 8 marks, how to deal with ethics, and 2 marks, professional skill marks. That's how you draft the answer related to ethics. So I must say 9 to 10 marks for ethics you can easily manage with the 20 marks question of the section A question 2. You have a very good command. Number 1, knowledge about fundamental principles, knowledge about the threads of the fundamental principles, and you need a good expertise related to the application. Practice the question as much as possible. If you are practicing question 2, you are not just able to cover the things of ethics, but also revising. You will be able to revise the accounting standard issues with a question 2 of section A. So very simple thing. Quickly review, hardly quickly review the knowledge of fundamental principles and the threads to the fundamental principles which you have already studied with the other part of the studies as well, that's ordered law. Quickly review and practice as maximum as question number 2 of section A. Automatically you will develop your ability of the ethics. I strongly suggest to invest 10% of the total. If you of the total SBR uh, SBR arts you will invest in the SBR revision or the preparation whatever. Total 10%. Furthermore, performance measurement. Performance measurement. Performance measurement is a fourth component of the syllabus. It's not like F7 ratios and interpretation. You must be very much aware. If you are doing in this manner, avoid this. What includes examiner expecting that you have to answer some of the question that's meant that section B, either question section B question 1 or 2, in totality either question 3 or 4. Examiner will definitely examine 10 to 12 marks related to investor perspective. Practice the things. Sometimes examiner examines accounting issues and affecting on ratios. Cover APM, alternative performance measurement tools. Cover sustainable reporting, very important topic. Integrated reporting and management comment. All are important. All are important. This is what about the checklist. We will provide you the guidance about this, but later on. Total 4 professional marks with SBR exam. 2 related to ethics, how to cover the matter with ethics, and 2 related to coverage of professional marks. If you really practice the questions of investor perspective, you will be able to get technical 10 to 12 and professional 2 marks. So 12 to 14 marks you will be able to get with the performance measurement. And this is what about you need to invest 12% of your time, totality of the course, but with totality of the hours, you need to invest 12% into. I suggest 12 to 15 hours you have to invest for this. Categorically, examiner mentioned the SBR exam will require candidates to adopt investor or stakeholder focus in answering some question, and the place of this question with section B, either question 3 or either question 4. Last component of the syllabus, current development. So ACCA amended the syllabus structure from and that's amendment has made and applicable from applicable from September 23 to June 24 exams. So what's the scope of the current development that you need to cover? Number one, you need to be aware if there are some changes, currently changes with the new accounting standard. Number two, if there are some changes with the new accounting standards, what the implications with respect to these changes, plus factors and minus factors, means advantages and the pitfalls both. Number three, sustainable reporting, very categorically. These three things. New development includes more things. We will cover the point very next slides. At least you need to invest 8% of the total hours. 8% total hours. Okay. Number one by one. Number one, new accounting standard. So the first thing, the accounting implications of the new accounting standards, what the issues and deficiencies. Examiner particularly mentioned, we will not examine a complete question of the current development. It's a part of the question, 7 to 8%. And if examiner examine the current development about a new accounting standard, so examiner not required a very in-depth knowledge of that accounting standards on of new developments, just the basic principles. So don't worry about that. These are examiner verdicts. For new accounting standard, if you really wanted to cover the syllabus area, that how I will draft the answer, I strongly suggest with the ACCA study material, you can cover something with these standards. The highlighted point, you have to develop your ability to critique the new development of accounting standards. And new development, that's something as made with IS1, IFRS 15, in fact, already the complete new development, something IFRS 2, something IS 37, IFRS 8, business combination, cash flows. You can incorporate the IFRS 9 as well. So with the study app, go to the study app chapters with IS1, with IS 15, with all these checklists, and just quickly go through what are the critics that's made with the study text writer, or you can cover this point as well with the Kaplan as well, but not to invest extraordinary time for this. Just make a quick review to get an idea about this, because examiner has already said that, has mentioned that we will not examine in very much detail. So examiner can examine with this angle, new accounting standard issues. Second angle, with the current development, examiner can examine the new business developments, means new world development, new real business development and accounting implications, like digital asset, like natural disaster, like climate change, global event, going concern. The document, a comprehensive document I will share with you, a very comprehensive, that's free for all. That's 30-40 pages document. If you invest your 4 hours by reading that particular material, you will be able to demonstrate your ability in the exam. May Allah, God willing. Last point for current development, that is sustainable reporting and the new development about the sustainability standards. So you have to cover with your notes or the material, even with the ACCA exam material that's already available. So that is what about the syllabus content. So till now, we have covered number one, what's the SBR QPC objective? Oh, sorry, SBR Bootcamp objective. It's a mistake here. It's not about the QPC, it's a bootcamp. Bootcamp objective, it's very simple. Bridging the gap between the examiner expectation and your vision. And I hope that whatever we have discussed till now, some gray area you have identified with your aspects and you need to overcome. Number two, the right approach. The right approach, the weightage of preparation according to the weightage of the syllabus areas. Examiner mindset, ability to draft your answer as well, draft the principle as well. Inside the syllabus, we have covered first four part we have covered with the first video. Inshallah, with the next video, we will cover the agenda number 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you very much. Wait for the another video. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.